Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Governor Greg Abbott just turns the tables on Jake Tapper's own show and reminds the rest of the world that Texas Democrats have really messed up. Let's dive in.
You're doing this to give Trump and Republicans in the House of Representatives 5 additional seats, right? I mean, that's the motivation, is to stave off any midterm election losses.
Again, to be clear, Jake, the reason why we're doing this is because of that court decision. Texas is now authorized under law that changed, that was different than in 2021 when we last did redistricting. Under new law, as well as new facts that surfaced in the aftermath of the Trump election, showing that many regions of the state that historically had voted Democrat, that were highly Hispanic, now chose to vote Republican and vote for Trump as well as other Republican candidates. Districts where the electorate voted heavily for Trump, they were trapped in a Democrat congressional district. They have every right to vote for a member of Congress who's a Republican. We will give them that ability.
The law is pretty clear that state legislators in Texas denying the majority party a quorum can be fined and can even be arrested. But now you and your administration are taking the unusual step of asking for Democratic leader Gene Wu, who we played a clip from a little while ago, to be actually removed from office. What gives you the right to override the will of his voters who elected him?
So I think the will of the people who elected him are not being met right now. The people who elected him, as well as the other Democrats who've run from their duty, they didn't elect them to run off to Illinois. They elected them to go to Austin, Texas, and cast votes as required by the Constitution. What I have the authority to do as governor is to require these members of the legislature to follow the Constitution, which is very clear on its face, where it says that these legislators must act on bills before them. They're refusing to perform their constitutional duty, and that's exactly why I filed that lawsuit in the Texas Supreme Court, and the Texas Supreme Court has required Gene Wu to respond to that, and the Texas Supreme Court is considering that right now. And what I'm seeking to do in that case is to have Gene Wu removed from office for failing to perform his constitutional requirement.
So your state had a Congresswoman, Kay Granger, who tragically developed dementia, and then in the middle of her, I guess, second year in office, in her final term, she and her family just checked her into a dementia center in Texas, and nobody represented that congressional district for like 6 to 8 months or something. And I don't recall you saying anything then.
Well, I have the authority to apply the Texas Constitution to these members of the Texas House of Representatives. With regard to members of Congress, that's going to be up to the congressional delegation and to the federal laws of which the state would have no control over. What I do have control over, Jake, is what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
And that is, I called a special session. I put items on the agenda, and by Texas law, those runaway Democrats are required to act on that agenda. They're failing to do their duty. So there's a violation of state law that allows me to seek the removal of those who've abdicated their responsibility. Let's play this out. If they do not get removed by this court, this process is going to continue. I'm going to call special session after special session after special session. They could remain in hiding for literally years, tying the hands of the state of Texas from performing essential government needs. That cannot be allowed, and that's exactly why I should prevail in my lawsuit to have this Democrat removed from office, because they are denying Texas the ability to conduct business.
I mean, not entirely, though, right? Because, I mean, there are filing deadlines for candidates in September and November, and then in March, of course, would be the primaries in Texas. So they really, I mean, I'm not advocating this, but they really only need to wait you out until the fall.
Yeah. So, sorry, Jake, that's not the case. Because I can call a special session at any time to have these districts redrawn. And even if we get to and beyond the filing deadline, we are still going to redraw these maps. And before we've done this, what we can do again, and that is have 2 different elections, one for all the other candidates on the ballot, one for members of Congress. And that's exactly what we'll do this time. If they think all they have to do is wait it out until November, December, they're wrong. I'm going to do this for the next 2 years. And they're going to have to basically take up residency in Illinois. They may as well start voting in Illinois.
Is it not just better for voters to be picking their politicians instead of politicians to be picking their voters through gerrymandering?
Well, to be clear, listen, all those big blue states, they've already gerrymandered. Look at the map of Illinois. Look at the map of California, New York, and Massachusetts, and so many other blue states. They gerrymandered a long time ago. They got nothing left with regard to what they can do. And know this, if California tries to gerrymander 5 more districts, listen, Texas has the ability to eliminate 10 Democrats in our state. We can play that game more than they can because they have fewer Republican districts in their states.
And he's leaning into doing the right thing and trying to arrest these rogue Democrats, 50 of which have left the state legislature, all to do one thing: deny a quorum of votes so they can't pass a map that accurately reflects the needs of the people and land of Texas. That's something we don't talk about enough. Land also deserves some recognition. Okay, we don't fully understand that, particularly out here on the East Coast. I'm from Georgia, so we have a better understanding of that to some degree because we actually have a thriving agricultural section. Because remember, we're the peach state. We grow a ton of peanuts. We got Vidalia onions. We've got a huge amount of beef. Seriously, the best day at the state capitol was the day that the beef lobby would come in and they give everyone steak biscuits. Steak biscuits and chocolate milk. That was the best breakfast you will have every single legislative session. And Greg Abbott called a special legislative session himself in order to deal with the floods that were happening along the Guadalupe River. Ladies and gentlemen, Texans were needing support and help, and what did the Democrats do? They saw that one piece of the agenda did not benefit them at the federal level, so they left the state. Instead of defending themselves at the Alamo, they decided to run for the hills. That is the least Texan thing I have ever heard, and it's disgusting. Hey, y'all. Experts say they rig the markets, print the money, and manipulate the system. But here's the truth. They can't print gold. While the dollar weakens, physical gold and silver stay real, tangible, uncontrolled. When banks go digital and emergencies lock you out of your own funds, gold and silver won't need an internet connection or government permission. Their value is outside the system, a time-tested insurance policy against tyranny, inflation, and economic resets. So don't wait until the trap is sprung. Own what the elites hoard behind closed doors. Physical gold and silver off the grid, because when the system fails, real money talks. And to help you learn more about owning physical gold and silver, we have partnered with the great company Goldco, which supports this channel, which we deeply appreciate. So check out politibralgold.com for more info and see if you might even qualify for free silver. That's politibralgold.com. It's disgusting, and guess what? The interview with NPR from Gene Wu is even worse. He's the ringleader of these Democrats leaving the state, and this interview was even worse. Check this out. And this is a direct quote from him. "We expect them to not be able to make quorum, and we will continue our efforts to warn the entire nation about this impending doom that is coming to everyone." We'll come back to that. "This is wholesale destruction of our nation and our democracy. Buddy, your one job in this republic is to come out and support and represent your constituents. And you have failed so hard that in the end, you have a governor wanting to remove you from office. And by the way, a removal of a politician from office will just trigger another election. So Democrats, rest in peace knowing that you can elect another Democrat, just not this jerk. What are y'all doing? When it comes to saving our democracy, the response has been from people from Massachusetts to Illinois to California and New York to up the ante. Really? Massachusetts, about 40% Republican, 0 Republican districts, 9 congressional districts. Connecticut, same problem, 6 congressional districts, about 40% Republican, 0 Republican districts. New York has a similar problem. Illinois has 2 we know of for a fact are definitely gerrymandered, and there's no way you can't tell me that you've done funky things with the map around the suburbs of Chicago. Then California has an independent board to quite literally take a look at the maps and then correctly divvy out the representative numbers. California has 52 congressional members. They vote about 35% Republican. That means if you extrapolate the data, 52, let's just double that and make it 100. Okay, 100, 35%, 35. Let's cut that in half. 35, let's round down to just give them the benefit of the doubt. That's 17. You know how many Republicans there are in the California congressional delegation to Congress? 9. They're missing 8 based on their own voting data. So remember this, folks. When Republicans gerrymander, it's because of the Voting Rights Act, to quite literally give black and brown voters rights according to federal law. That's what North Carolina has to do, Georgia has to do it, Alabama has to do it, Mississippi has to do it. Guess what states don't really follow that and go in their own direction? That's right, it's the blue states to a T, ladies and gentlemen. Although I can't give North Carolina too much credit, they do over gerrymander there, and that is a bit of a problem. But I can't look at places like Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. I can't look at them and go, no, y'all are doing it wrong. There's no way to properly give out congressional apportionment according to the VRA. This is absolute insanity, and Republicans are playing with their hands tied behind their back, and meanwhile, Democrats are upping the ante. Greg Abbott is trying to make an even playing field just the same way Donald Trump is trying to make tariffs an even playing field so the American economy can start thriving again, or at least start getting some of the money back that we keep on losing. And Jake Tapper doesn't ask the tough questions. He is at least understanding that, hey, I need to give Greg Abbott some airtime. And so ultimately, at least we're getting something from CNN, right? There's a reason why more people are gravitating away from mainstream media outlets. There's a reason why Stephen Colbert has lost The Late Show. It's why, who's the jerk that does the Radio Shock Jock? I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. I can place his face, but he's losing his show too. His numbers have gone from the millions down to about 125,000. The mainstream media is losing, and on all levels. And they're trying to claw things back, but this isn't enough. And then NPR is producing this hack job of an interview. There are only a couple of questions. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 questions in a public interview with a Texas Democrat who is shirking his duty. This is insane world, ladies and gentlemen. Clown world, for lack of a better word. But my name is Brian. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Till then, y'all have a good one.